Aftercare After Dark is intended for mature audiences. If you're under the age of 18, we would ask you to leave this broadcast immediately and patiently await your formal invite to the grown folks table. We sometimes discuss topics that can be triggering for some. Please refer to the show's notes for episode-specific trigger warnings and resources. Thank you for listening.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Aftercare After Dark. My name is Miss G.
And I'm Yolanda. We're two sisters helping each other navigate these kink streets. Aftercare is time spent communicating and taking care of your partner after sex and or play. But who does this vital work when you're single? We are here for each other and those of you who are also exploring.
Today's topic are our women crushes. We are getting ready for hot, I'm going to find a girl summer. That is what we are going to do. So we're just putting our calling cards out there, saying what we're looking for, what we've been through, what we hope to experience in the coming months, because I need a girl. I need a girl. Men's is something. All right, we'll start off with, when did you realize that you weren't quite straight?
I think I was 16. I think I was 16. I think I was 16 or 17. I can't remember, but I was 16 or 17 when I had my first girl crush. And it was on two young ladies. We were all in high school together. One was actually friends with another one of my friend groups. So like me at 16 and 17, I had two guy best friends. And that was like our little friend group, the three of us plus one or two of their other guy friends. So I was very much like the only girl in the group. So this girl that I had a crush on was friends with another friend group. That was the first time I remember encountering conversations. I've never seen it happen, but I encountered conversations of these girls dating other girls. This just kind of goes to show how sheltered I was growing up. So I was like 16 when I first realized that girls can like other girls and that there are girls out there who date other girls. I don't know if you want to say names, but for the sake of protecting her name, I'm going to say her name is Jillian. Jillian was a transfer to our high school and she still is absolutely gorgeous. She still is absolutely gorgeous. She was my first girl crush. And then the other girl was a high school rival. Both girls were white or at least half white and half Samoan. But they were both drop dead gorgeous, beautiful women. Those are my high school crushes. How about you?
Also high school, but not seeing it modeled. I grew up in New York City, and you would think that, New York City, but it was the early 90s. It was the early 90s. So my high school, mostly men, mostly Asian. I went to a science high school. I had these two not quite friends. One was also white, but had the aesthetic that I couldn't afford. Goth, emo, dark liner, dark eyes, dark hair, dark disposition. And very shy. I was very, very shy. Didn't really communicate, but she would just talk to me and I would just listen. And I was like, I don't know what this feeling is, but I like this. I like this. Another was the younger sister of a really good friend of mine. This one introduced me to hair bands. Like, I had no interest in that side of music. 80s hair bands.
Hair metal? Like
hair metal.
So when you say hair band, I'm thinking like hair band.
Oh, yeah, hair bands. The big hair bands of the 80s and 90s.
Headbanging.
Yes, Guns N' Roses, the tail end of that, not so much hair, but the same aesthetic, right? But I listened to a lot of Guns N' Roses. I listened to a lot of AC/DC. I hung out. I was very shy. This girl had a big personality. I would just listen to her talk and we'd like dance to music and talk about different things. But she would do most of the talking. And I was just like, I like you. I like the way that you smell. You're really pretty. In my head, this is what's going on.
and you didn't understand that you were crushing?
No, no. I didn't know what I wanted to do, but like I just love spending time. And we weren't really friends. Like it wasn't a back and forth thing. We didn't call each other on the phone, but at school, I followed them around like a little puppy dog, and like they just big personalities, big, like beaming, like command presences. This is going to be a theme for me. But yeah, I don't know exactly what I wanted to do, but it wasn't,
You just wanted to be around her.
I did. I had a crush. It was a crush. I didn't know what I would do physically, like, because I wasn't physically anything with anybody else. Like, I had a couple of crushes on boys too, but didn't have any idea what that really meant. Slow, slow. Didn't know.
Cool. Do you still keep in touch with them? No.
No.
Okay.
As I said before, we weren't quite friends. It was kind of a one-sided, I was there and I had all of these thoughts in my head and I listened to them a lot. Being a good listener, especially when I was younger, gave me access to different people, but like it was a very one-sided thing. They did all of the talking and I just kind of sat there and nodded in the appropriate places and had a limerence type of situation where I'd fantasize about us going out on dates, but it wasn't something that I could verbalize or that I knew what that feeling was. Now I can very much recognize it as I had a crush on these girls.
Yay!
So, have you ever had a first in real life crush where you recognize I have romantic feelings for this person, I have sexual feelings for this person, and did you act on
No.
it? Oh no.
No, my high school crushes were about the closest they were, but they were more like mental. They were like more like mental fantasies, but I've never had like crush on anyone in real life and wanted to pursue anything romantic. It's also like upbringing, right? It wasn't anything that I entertained because at the time I just didn't understand. I just didn't understand anything about sexuality or even like my own sexuality. Yeah, no, I don't have a real life crush. Yours?
Well, we talked about this. This is how this all started. Boot camp. Boot camp for me. I had a drill instructor. I was the rabbit of the group, and this is a running term where I was faster than all of the other recruits, but also faster than most of my drill instructors. And so I had kind of like a personal trainer in my drill instructor and staff sergeant, Native American, 5'8", just perfect. Just perfect. Perfect skin. I mean, drill instructors in general are baddie. They are baddies. They are hot, hot. I had a group, we had 4, and at the end we had someone who was training and they were all chef's kiss. They were all something to look at. Okay, it was a little bit distracting. And the one that I am talking about was the person that ran me during PT. So we'd go on our training runs. There was the slow group, there was the medium group, there was the fast group, and then there was just me. And because everything in boot camp is a competition, one platoon against another, I was their strong recruit. I was supposed to get the high PFT. They were going to make sure that I got the high PFT. And so I had my own personal, she was the fastest drill instructor there, the strongest and the most beautiful to me. And she would run me and I literally and figuratively would get hot and sweaty. I had impure thoughts about my drill instructor. And it didn't matter. Okay, so like I'm working on a story now called By Air, By Land, and By Sea.
Oh no.
So like by land, we did a lot of running together, right? I have a funny slide for life story involving all of my drill instructors yelling at me. But there's this fantasy that I have about doing some things on the slide for life, rope. And by sea is like at the end of slide for life, if you don't do it right, you get in the mud, right? So we had to clean ourselves off. Like details.
Okay.
So that was my first real life in person. I know this person. Help me, don't anybody ever dox me.
I love talking on these episodes with you because it's like there's so many like buried memories that's like quite literally like resurfacing in real time. So right after you said your piece about your drill instructor, I'm all like, oh shit, that's right. I had a massive crush on my drill instructor as well too. And I don't say massive crush on my drill instructor, and I'm always attracted to strong women. But like not just strong women, like strong fucking powerlifting type of physique. If you look like you can carry me and throw me across the room, it was like crush, right? So I was 18. I left home at 17 and I turned 18 in boot camp. I remember I had a crush on my heavy, and she was also my first experience with the gender fluid label, because this was before gender fluid was a thing, right? She's also my first experience with somebody who would be considered a butch, but like would also be feminine if she wanted to. Like she was very much like androgynous in that way. I've seen her in a dress and heels, decked out in earrings and shit like that. And I've also seen her in like slacks with a blazer on, and she looks great. And she looked great in both and like all the spectrums. So I had a massive crush on her. If any of my boot camp sisters listen in on this, they would know exactly who I'm talking about. And then the other crush was our battalion sergeant major. Who was a battalion sergeant major in boot camp. This thick Black woman with braids. And I just remember like watching her running on our final PFT, just like watching her ass, just watching them thick thighs, the way those thighs flexed as she like pranced on past us. I was just looking at her body. I was crushing. I can't remember if I had any other girl crushes in real life after that, but like I have a thing for big, beautiful, powerful women.
All right. Missed opportunities. Have you ever been propositioned in real life and turned it down for whatever particular reason? Or have you wanted to, and your worldview of who you are as a heterosexual get in the way?
I've had a few, but so when you say proposition, I'm not sure what that looks like, but I've definitely been propositioned for sex a few times by women.
That's what that looks like.
Proposition for sex by a few women. I'm like thinking about it. I was like, dear God, this is back when we were like drinking and partying in our early 20s. I was 20 before when I was like drinking and partying. But like 2021, 22, we're drinking partying phases. And I've made out with my fair share of girls. The first time I made out with a girl was at a friend's house party. This was back when beer pong was a thing, was a big thing. So that was the first time I kissed a woman. Another close call was at another friend's house parties. Apparently, house parties are very dangerous, and we were pretty drunk. I remember making out with this girl on my friend's blow up mattress in his living room. Again, bunch of Marines, drunk as and I remember being drunk as making out with this girl on this blow up mattress, and my sergeant had his face right here while I was sucking face with another woman.
Did you serve past Don't Ask, Don't Tell? Because I was in the middle of Don't Ask, Don't Tell.
Don't Ask, Don't Tell didn't become a thing till like 2013, 2014. And I got out. Sorry, it got disbanded 2013, 2014, I believe. So it was still Don't Ask, Don't Tell when I was in. But yeah, my sergeant's face was right there. The only reason why nothing happened was because I was so drunk, I passed out. I passed out, and apparently that girl got up because I had another guy friend on the fucking couch. We're in the living room watching, so I passed out on her. She got up and she went and one of our shop friends, and I'm pretty sure she was a civilian. Yeah, made out with a go-go dancer on top of a bar in San Diego, and that was it. I got her in trouble. I got the poor go-go dancer in trouble. So yeah. Yours?
So this is fast forward for me past my divorce, because with a man, married while I was in the Marine Corps, and then the third situationship, fast forward, I'm living in Florida. I'm made it a habit. It's weird when an introverted person meets a person who's more introverted than they are. And just my disposition, I'm like, you need to fix yourself. You need to socialize. You need to go out. So like I would drag my bestie, my Florida bestie, M, out all the time just to do the things that we needed to do. We liked fancy food. Once a week, we'd go and have fancy food. We liked dancing. We'd go find some music and we would dance. And we were at this club, curvy, again, tall, woman, Latina, I'm assuming just from skin coloring and the deportment, wearing a cream colored column bodycon dress. So you could see everything, I wanted to, I just wanted to be statuesque and just beautiful. Like approaches me, we got in the room, and when I dance, I dance. I'm not shy. I'm not a wallflower. I'm going to make my space in the middle of the floor, and I am going to tear up. I love to dance. After the first set, DJ takes a break. I take a break, go to the bar. This woman floats up to me, and I mean, gorgeous, gorgeous. Everything's perfect. And she leans over and she says to me, I just want to tell you, you are the baddest bitch in here. And are you a lesbian? And my very literal mind could not, like, I was so enthralled. And this happens to me like sometimes, and it only happens with women. Men, it only happens with, like, it really does. I can be impressed by a man, but I am never starstruck. I'm never starstruck by a man. I don't care how good looking you are or, whatever. I'm never caught like that. But a beautiful woman will get me like, I can't breathe. So she asked me if I was a lesbian, and I've been out. Like, I've been like, yeah, I'm interested in both. I am bisexual. I've been out, and I said no.
Oh,
Because very literally, I'm not a lesbian, I'm bisexual. But I couldn't get anything else out. If I was smoother, and I replay this in my head all the time. This is my big missed opportunity. I replay this in my head. I was like, no, but like for you, I'll be just about anything. Like, I could have been smooth about it. I could have been smooth about it, but no.
are you a lesbian? Not yet. Would you like
I
to
know,
make me
right?
one?
Yeah, exactly. Can you teach me, please? Like, please. Like, this is not just storytelling for storytelling's sake. I tell this story all the time, so you can ask Em. She was there. She was there, and I all these years later, it's been a minute. 8 years later, I was like,
Yeah.
I could have, I should have. Why did I? Why did I?
And then just like
stop?
reflect on that feeling and just know that you have that effect on a lot of men.
Now I know. Now I know. But
Just
like,
so you know, you have that effect on a lot of men, and it's okay.
no, I quite literally, I was like, I could have belonged to that woman. She could have
We
been a
could have been
wonderful
going
wife for
strong
me.
still.
I know. I know. But yeah, that's my miss. That's like, the one time where like someone approached me, and I said this to a friend once, to a male friend, trash, Gemini. Anyway, I said this to a male friend because we're talking about like my status and being perpetually single and what that meant and being on the asexual spectrum. I said, you know what I think needs to happen? I need someone to spot me from across the room and say that I want to worship you for the goddess you are. I need to hear that from someone. And I did. I did hear this from someone. Yeah, like a missed opportunity. It is a missed opportunity. I heard this from someone and blew it. Blew it and regret it. I have like 3 regrets in my entire life. That's one of them. I was like, oh man, I could have had so much fun. No,
We could have had a
no.
beautiful life.
Real life experiences. You did the do, or did you do the do?
I've only had sex with one lady, and that was a kind of a one-time hookup thing, and it was wonderful. Gentleman I had met off Tinder organized it. And this was like our third date. So I show up nervous and I walk into the place and there she is. And she's just like this beautiful, gorgeous little white blonde lady. And we just like took some time we had some drinks, we smoked, we had a joint, we shared a joint, and we were just like talking and getting to know each other and just immediately hit it off. Cause I like started laughing and I looked at him, I was like, I was so worried. It's like, why? I don't know. I was just so worried that I wasn't gonna like her. And then she started like laughing and saying the same thing. I'm like, oh my God, thank you. Yes, I was so worried that we weren't gonna like each other. And no, we liked each other just fine. So that night was also my first cuck experience. My third time meeting with this Tinder hookup friend, he organized a threesome for me because we both wanted to have a threesome. He's never had a threesome. I've never had a threesome. So kind of like rewind, the first time we hooked up, he inserted during the deed, he was like, would you like me to fuck you with another woman? And I'm like, mm-hmm. I was like, how about another man? And so he took it upon himself to make this my sex fantasy happen. And it was like so thoughtful. And it was like wonderful. And it was so thoughtful. And I'm grateful that he did that for me. But at the same time, that was also like one of those things. I was after the fact, I also struggled with some thoughts as like, here I am meeting a complete total stranger, like being willing to share my deep, intimate these deep, intimate, taboo, dark desires, right? Like threesomes. And I've never been able to feel that open with my ex-boyfriend at the time. So this total fucking stranger, never met him, just like within 3 dates made my sex fantasy come true. I walk in, smoke a joint, have a drink, and this beautiful woman comes up and we just hit it off. We're like giggling. And I remember at some point I like grabbed her and like kissed her and just like held her face. And she it was like, oh my God, you're amazing. You're wonderful. So they blindfolded me, or he came up, blindfolded me. They both led me to the bedroom. They tied me down and they both started like pleasuring me. And it was complete sensory overload. My whole body was on fire. I don't remember ever feeling like that before there was any penetration. Before, like we were still in the warm up mode, right? I don't even remember what it's called anymore. The warming up the engine, you know what I'm saying? So just complete sensory overload. And I remember at some point we've got penetration going, we're fucking, and he pulls out and like starts fucking her. She's on top of me. We're making out. At another point, he like flips her over. She's sitting on my face, and he's like my pussy, alternating between fucking my pussy and fucking her in the mouth as well too. I'm blindfolded, so I have no idea what it looks like. Right? Everything's just going on in my brain at this point, but it's just like cutting off that extra sense, the vision sense, just like amplified the hearing, amplified the touch, right? The audio senses and then the touch sensitivities. But it was wonderful. So after we did the deed, he unties me, takes me out of the room, and like kicks me out of the room. They walk me to the door. He gives me a drink, helps me, like we smoke another joint, and like waits for me to calm down and come down from the high, and then sends me home so that he can entertain her for the rest of the evening. I was so jealous. I was so fucking jealous, but at the same time, I was so fucking turned on. I wasn't jealous. I was envious. I was envious of her because she got to enjoy that for the rest of the night. But everything else, I was just like super turned on. So that was my first cuck experience, and I absolutely loved it. So that was my first.
Is that really a cuck experience?
In ways, yeah.
Okay. All right. We'll stick a pin in that. We'll stick a pin in that because
in ways, yes.
Yeah, I have an idea of what that experience. I haven't gotten close to that experience, but we'll talk about it. Okay, so for me, grad school. So this is post-divorce, mid-30s. One of my classmates, I went to school for creative writing. So I have my MFA. I didn't know. I was not aware. Like, I'm not aware of my effect on anybody, really, until I start paying attention to it, right? I did not know that one of my classmates had a crush on me. We went for drinks as a class, and I ended up in her apartment. But I've ended up in a whole bunch of people's apartments. Again, demisexual. I'm thinking I'm a friend. We're just going to talk, have the deep talks about literature and art and music that we always do, right? I wasn't attracted to her that way. I wasn't thinking of it that way. It happened. I'm glad it happened because it was my first experience. I've kissed a girl before, but like nothing worth noting, right? This was, I'm naked, she's doing things to me, and I was also unclear. Like, I'm not a pillow princess. I like to participate, but she was one of the disposition, don't touch me, I'm touching you thing. So like, I was a little out of my depth. I did not know how to just lay back and relax. I wanted to participate and I got kind of shut down. So like, it wasn't a great experience, but it didn't turn me off to it. It just like, it was one of those things where I went along with it, one out of curiosity, but not because I was feeling the thing, right? So I was not attracted. Very attractive woman, by the way. Very attractive, but I didn't feel the things that I need to feel in order to be turned on. So I experienced it, but like wasn't really like into it. It wasn't bad, it wasn't good. It was just kind of like, oh, I'm naked and someone's touching me. I didn't feel all of the tingly thing. I've had better dreams, like, as far as that experience is concerned. So that was one. My first threesome, and I think it was an online thing. I want to say maybe early days of Tinder, maybe. Early days of Tinder.
When did Tinder become a thing?
I know, right? Tinder's been around for a hot minute, but yeah, I think it might have been early days of Tinder. It was one of my very first, like, I'm just gonna hook up and hope I feel something type of experiences. We've talked about me on a plane. Like, I get up and I travel, I do things, and I'm like, okay, everything's working down there. I can go back to my life of being single, right? But it was the first one. It was exciting in the I am turned on. I was also kind of like, she's not into this. It was my first mistake in not vetting a couple about what's going on. It was very much, he's drooling, he wants to see his girl and me get it on, and we are pantomiming. Like, I was into her. I thought she was attractive, but she did not want to be there. And then that kind of brought my mood down.
No.
Yeah, I felt really bad about that for a very, very long time, and kind of closed that door, because I was like, there's the idea that this could be a great thing, right? But the reality did not match it. So like, I was like, oh no, I felt bad. I just felt
Yeah,
terrible.
that wasn't a very good experience.
It wasn't a good experience at all, but like, it wasn't never again type of thing, but it was I have to be very cautious about
Yeah.
doing this again. So 10 years later, like, not 10 years. Oh, actually more than 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, more than 10 years later. Fast forward to Yolanda's in season, and we are doing the things, we are experimenting, we are on field. And I met my couple, my first couple, and that was a slow burn thing. We went on a couple of dates. We did a lot of texting, trying to schedule. We finally get down to meeting, and that was the time of my life. That was the time of my life. I've never one, we're just going to call her the librarian because she was a former librarian. Women in authority, there is a certain type, except not bodily type, short, Asian, a 5'2", but like a little ball of fire. This was a female-led relationship, whether they call it that or not.
But she's absolutely calling the shots.
Yes, she was the lead. She's the one who took out her wallet to pay for things. Okay. Like, she controls the money in that house. She controls the budget. She runs that man's world. Like, that's what she does. She's a boss lady. Okay. I don't know what they do when they talk amongst themselves, but like, from the outside, this was her desire to explore all types of things. He approached me on field, but they both labeled themselves as heteroflexible. And the reason why I entertained his approach was because of her profile. I liked her. I liked her. I was always more into her. I was more physically attracted to her. When we got together, we had our alone time. It was me and her to start out. He was there for moral support, I guess. You know,
That's what I'm talking.
he was there for moral support. I mean, he was doing his fair share of
We
touching.
call it decoration.
Yeah.
We call it decoration. He was just there for decoration.
Like your scenario, there was penetration, there was all of that. But truth be told, it was about me and her. Like, it was me and her, eyes open, could see all of the things. The hottest moment of my entire life. We both looked down at the same time, as he's very good with his hands, very good with his hands. And we both, like, it was like a heavy sigh. Like, it was amazing. It was amazing. It was not awkward. She was the director. She was checking in. Are you okay? Like, like, it was everything. It was everything. It didn't work out between the three of us, but like, ideally, personality wise, I was more like him personality wise than anything else like that. And I was hot for her. I was hot for the librarian. Yeah, that was good.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
so fun.
that was, I want to say that was top 5. It's not the best, but it was top 5. It was at the time, it was the best sex I had ever had. I was yeah.
You had fun. You had a damn
fun.
good time.
And for the most part, I topped her. Fantastic.
And I'm over here like, I just had another threesome pop up, and this was a hotel gangbang party that I took my ex sub to slut him out. So this was a party we came in. It was very much a swingers party. It was a sex gangbang. But I rolled out with my ex sub at the time. This was part of his like humiliation stuff. I had him put his puppy mask on. I did some demo stuff, beat him in front of an audience, and then we proceeded into the bedroom where the gangbang started. So I didn't participate with any of the men there. I think there were only 2 or 3 other women there. And so I did some, kissing and boob play with the one lady. She was on her period while the other lady was being railed by 2 or 3 other guys. And so when that was done, I had my partner at the time pleasure the other lady while I like pulled her hair, choked her, and I topped her. So I topped the lady. My sub at the time was doing the sexual penetration stuff. And that was my second threesome. I don't know how much of that was considered a gangbang because I didn't really participate in the sexual acts, but I was, I did the checking in with her. So after the next day, she sent me a message on the website that we're on and she thanked me profusely. She was like, that was amazing. I had such a good time and you made me feel absolutely safe. Like having you there and having you be the one driving that scene made me feel safe enough to truly enjoy myself. So, yay, that was super fun.
Your fantasy women top 3. I cheated a little on this.
So this is the fantasy women / celebrity crushes, right? So this is like the ones we think about that were probably never going to happen in real life. So of course, my first gay crush celebrity was absolutely Michelle Rodriguez. Michelle Rodriguez. It was like Fast and Furious. There was a point where I think it was the first one where her and Dom are fucking in the garage. And I just remember in that scene, like her body was just glistening in sweat. Her body was just glistening in sweat and whatever it is. So that was definitely my first celebrity crush.
Guess who's on my list from Fast and Furious? It's Michelle Rodriguez. So she didn't get me in Fast and Furious. Where she got me was Alien. She got me in the Alien movie where they have a bunch of space marines and she's a space marine and they all die glorious death. Something about that lady. And she's not a big lady either. She's small but mighty, right? Like
they make her big on screen, but she's tiny and she's petite. Yeah. She's a small one.
All right, there you go. Next one.
Mine is a Gina as well. Gina Carano. So Gina Carano was an MMA fighter. She was Muay Thai and then she went into MMA and then she went into acting. So if you don't know who Gina Carano is, she's in the Yoda.
The Mandalorian.
Yeah, she's in The Mandalorian. I don't know what it is, but these alpha women, right, who can like kick. I think that's why I fell in love with Michelle Rodriguez, was because they portray her as a kick-ass in her scenes. Gina Carano is a fucking certified kick-ass. She can quite literally kill motherfuckers.
Okay, so I have a class, okay? It's not just one of them. British women over the age of 50. And I have a theory about this. They're just Black women. That's what they are. They realize they turn whatever gene on and they all have that something. So we're talking about Gillian Anderson. We're talking about Emma Thompson. We're talking about Kate Blanchett. Like these women, especially Kate Blanchett in Thor Ragnarok. Get it. Oh, Olivia.
I'm over here. Olivia Pope. No, that's not her name.
No, it's not Olivia Pope. And not on my list. Olivia Colman. British actresses over the age of 50 become Black women, and there's something about them. There's something about them. They just lose all filter. They do not care. They say things, and like you're like, listen, Lady Dench, she can get it too. I have a list of grands that can get it, and she's on that list. Okay, they're just so sassy. They so sassy, one-liners, quick-witted, mean. Like I like it.
Fed up and over it. So my last one isn't necessarily like an acting celebrity. This is more of an internet crush. One is Danielle Spiegel. She goes by Danny Spiegel on Instagram, and she's a CrossFit athlete and just like dream body. And then the other one is, her screen name is Confectioner Fire on that website that we're on. And I have a massive crush on her.
So my first, my parasocial limerent, whatever you want to call it, lives in my head as a full human being is Gina Torres. Gina Torres, first saw in one of my favorite TV shows. One season TV shows are like a thing for me. It might be one of my kinks. Serenity. She's young there, but every character, I will watch her in anything. I can probably, actually, there is a fantasy in which I watch her eat toast. I have a thing for this particular actress. She's 6 feet tall. She used to be married to Lawrence Fishburne. I'm pretty sure straight. I'm pretty sure we'll never meet me. And if you hear this, I'm not going to make it weird. But like you, Keanu Reeves, and I live somewhere on a body of water in 3 townhouses. I have adored every character she's ever played. And there's a mix of, well, number one, just statuesque, beautiful woman, tall, again.
Amazon.
Amazon.
You like the Amazon.
I do like the Amazons. Command presence, but also full of compassion and care. Like,
oh, she's got quiet power. She has that.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But she has loud power too. She will dress you down. All of her characters have this way of talking to you to make you feel like that big if you are in her sights. And this crosses like Suits. Suits would be the one that like everybody's watching Suits now from back in the day. But I didn't learn about Louboutins from those chicks on Sex and the City. And I watched Sex and the City. I didn't care. I didn't care about any of them. In Suit, the boss lady, the head of the firm, the I earned my place, try me, but I will also like wash your hair and like kiss all your boo-boos. Like that woman lives in my head rent free 24/7. So that's the end of the celebrity crushes. And moving on to,
sorry, I had Gina Torres a completely different face in my head this entire time. And to just now was the first time I actually looked her up. And I was like, oh shit, I watched her in Suits.
I got good taste. If anything,
you like the Amazon, and then you like
do.
I think you definitely like the femme presenting powerful women.
I do. Even though of late so my Instagram crushes are the Mask of Center fitness lesbians. Like there's something about them. There is something about them. One, because they're giving you all the tips and tricks for my future, okay? So they're giving you the like your topping and like like exercises. They're very. Oh, you have not found this part of the internet? Find this part of the internet. Yes. No, they're like, okay, you need to do this kind of plank to have that stamina game for when you are on top. And I am here for it. So like I save all of these and like I'm like,
you're gonna have to share. You're gonna have to share these things.
Oh, I'll share. I didn't think you'd be interested, but oh yes. Oh yes.
I have a whole like saved playlist of workout videos.
Well, I mean, we knew that we had fitness in common.
Like, I want to know if you want to ride longer, here, do this exercise.
This is a quick aside. It wasn't a woman, but I found this video today. I saved it about like your reverse cowgirl game. Like, I was like, okay, tomorrow at the gym, that's what we are going to do. Yes, we need, like you can't, well, like me. Okay, I like to do things well. There are things that I can do, but I want to do the optimum. I want to do the most. So I'm going to train for it. All right. I trained for my marathons. I'm going to train for this sex life of mine. That's what I am doing. Okay. I'm serious out here.
I'm over here like reverse cowgirl. Like, I don't think reverse cowgirl is my thing. I don't think I have the anatomy for that. Because I've tried. I don't know if I'm trying the right way. I don't know if maybe like my partners just didn't have a schlong that's long enough. It's the direction. I can never keep them inside. I can't keep them inside. So either like my birth canal is at a different angle or some shit, or I'm just not doing it right. I don't know. I don't know, but I've never had success with reverse cowgirl. Okay. Or at least the way they portray it in porn. Because I can do like back and forth, but it doesn't really hit the spot for me. But the like bouncing up and down, I can't keep them inside. So.
Oh, yeah. Mm.
No.
See, like for someone who hasn't had that many partners, yeah. Yeah, it's one of my things. It is one of my things, especially if it curves the right way. But we're talking about women. Let's keep it moving. Okay, so ideally, but actually, we could still be talking about women.
Okay. Ideally, what?
Ideally, what are you looking for in a woman? Personality, looks, positionally, whatever. Anything goes.
I'm still exploring. I don't know. I will say that I'm attracted to I don't say more of the mass presenting, because some of the women that I enjoy are more femme presenting too, but like strong, powerful women, right? The ones who gives zero fucks, the ones I want to be like, the ones who I want to emulate. I don't have a lot of had sex with one or two women. If you want to, I've had sexual contact with one or two women. I've definitely made out with my fair share of women. I've never dated or had a relationship with a woman. So I don't know what that looks like, and I don't know what I want to feel. But I will say that what I tend to feel attraction wise most is big sister vibes. Is like big sister vibes, and then like kind of mommy vibes, but it's more of like take care of me kind of thing.
Auntie Dom. I'm like that's my brand now.
Yeah.
It's a mix of the two, right? For me. So the actual experience with my librarian taught me that it's not about body type, it's really about attitude. It's really about attitude. Even though I like the pretty ladies, I like the pretty ladies that will kick your that will put you in your fucking place. I like the pretty ladies that will tell you where to go, tell you to jump how high. Yes, ma'am. As I'm exploring this, what my disposition is exactly, especially with BDSM, I don't know. You'd have to be like Zeus or something. And Zeus was a trash god too. I don't know. You'd have to be something phenomenal as a man to top me. Something phenomenal as a man to top me. My experience in real life so far has been that I have been topping everybody with the exception of one. That's just what it's been, because I don't have any compunction anymore about that particular power dynamic. Okay. You can't. So with a woman, I can see a certain type of woman topping me, doming me, and me being oh so happy to comply. Like I would. I can see this, not necessarily a physical way, because the more I think about it and the more I'm propositioned about it, I don't think masochism is my thing, but more of a guiding hand, more of a, we know your struggle and we're going to take care of each other type of thing. So it's a mutual, like, it's not, maybe it's just like sister vibes in the sense that we are peers. We are peers because apparently I terrify people. So like on first meeting, I've gotten this feedback. I'm becoming more aware of my position, as I get the scared of you. I get the wow a lot. Some people think that when I talk about my experiences, I have to like bring the receipts. I have run these marathons. Look, I did serve. I was good. Or I still am good. I am in charge of my own life. I've had 3 careers, but like they've lasted a decade, so it's not a piece. So it's not that I am flighty or anything else like that, but my presence is disturbing in a great way to a lot of people. So like I kind of want to match that energy. In community, I've met a lot of women of the sub. That's not what I'm looking for in a woman. Like I'm really looking for my peer or my superior. One of the two, but not as a subordinate. I don't want to boss anybody around. I don't want to run anybody's life. Well, in general, I don't. But there's a tone that I can take with men that I would never with a woman. We have it hard enough. So I'm looking for my peer. I'm looking for my peer or above. And I will work real hard to be worthy. That is, if I find my Gina Torres in real life, I will work real hard to be worthy. Well, I am, but I'm going to get that degree. You're going to call me Dr. Yolanda. And we will go to the galas together. We will be pretty princesses, but like Xena, Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely feel that peer, and like at least most women give me like co-top energy. I don't find myself attracted sexually or like emotionally attracted to the super submissive types that I tend to see a lot. I want somebody who can lead, right? The partnership, the co-topping thing, I find that very attractive for me. Have I met anyone that I want to submit to? No. I haven't met one. I would love to experience what it would feel like to fall in love with a woman. I haven't experienced that. I haven't met a woman who has brought that out of me. So I'm open. I'm here. We're still learning. We're still meeting people.
Yeah, and I've never fallen in love, but I think my instinct is telling me, one, I'm not going to meet that woman online. Women online there are so many more men out there. That's why we talk about the men so much, because that's our experience, because online and even in communities, there are just a lot of men. I've gotten better when I'm out in the wild at keeping my eyes open. Out in the wild means outside of my house. Like out in the wild. Yolanda's out in the wild. Keeping my eyes open. I have become a flirt and a half. We're getting there. I feel like this summer I'm gonna find my girl. I know it. I'm so excited for it.
I'm a little shy around the girlies, and I think that's more of like a lack of confidence because I'm like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, and it's
Neither
hilarious
do
because like
I, but I'm
I don't
faking it
feel
until
like
I
that,
make it.
right? And it's like I don't get that feeling with men because I know men, I know how they work and all these things. It's like I'm not like that with women because it's just like I've never dated a woman. I've never I've never wanted to date a woman. So it's just like I actually want the girls to like me. Even if you don't want me sexually, like be my friend.
For the audience, let us know about your matrix, pleasure matrix with the ladies. Let us know what you're looking for. Give us tips and how to. I mean, I live in the Hudson Valley, New York. There's plaid everywhere. I'm learning better to identify women who are not straight, and hopefully, I will find my match. I'm getting better at talking. As I said before, I'm getting better at almost everything. It's practice. It's being out there. I wouldn't even say I'm daring myself at this point. I'm just kind of letting loose. I'm acting on, I wouldn't say impulse because it's still calculated. Like I still have to think about it, but I am acting more on what it is my nature to do, which is to be forward and to be direct. And it's working out. It has bared results. We'll talk about more of those later, but let us know, contact us, and eventually we're going to get this together and we'll have a inbox, but you can leave a review and ask your questions there. We're going to read them all. And until next time.
Thank you so much for tuning in, everyone. We hope you enjoyed tonight's episode. We'll see you next time. Good night.
You're really close in. I cannot see, I can only see your head.
You just want boobies, just say it.
Yeah, of course we want the we're talking about women. The titties have to be the titties have to be there. The titties have to be there.